He took control over the empire from Tiberius and gave his control over to Claudius. Many people say that Caligula used his political power to get into the political position of emperor. People were excited for a new change and a better leader. As the population is just about 55 million, Caligula takes a different approach to better the Roman culture. One of them is making the gardens that are called haughties. As we cover the benefits, a major turning point, and ruling Rome, notice how the behavior changes from from others to him. This is the old Colosseum and the ancient battle floor. Caligula did many things during his reign. All of the Roman money he used to satisfy himself. And then what he did, he collected in taxes and spent it on the benefit of the empire. Caligula did this because he enjoyed to watch these games. He wanted to make them fun for all and really have the public talk about something. Another thing that Caligula did was abolish the sales tax. Some of the people in Italy could not afford many things. Abolishing the sales tax would make the people be able to afford more goods for their families. He also ended Tiberius's treason trials before creating his own. He restored all of the confiscated property. He eased persecution. He did not end persecution, but he bettered it. He majorly lowered the taxes for people to make things more affordable. He then gave a huge pay raise to the army. He also extended the aqueducts, giving more places of fresh water. He also opened up more trade ports in the country to promote trading and spending of money. Pictured is a stone statue of Caligula that he had put up. Next, we are going to see a drastic change in the Roman emperor. Many people, when the emperor is sick, they try to get their sons involved in the Roman family. Many people did not know what to do, given their emperor was very sickly. 7 months into his rule, he fell ill with a disease called megalomaniac, or some may say that he was poisoned. He basically lost his sanity and did not act like a leader. Many people prayed and worshipped for Caligula so that he would get better, because up until this point he had done amazing things for the empire. Many senators even asked God in front of Caligula if they could take himself instead of Caligula. After Caligula gets better and is taking on more emperor duties, he invites the senators over. He then asks them if they saved me, why don't you kill yourself like you promised the gods? He then made each of the senators commit suicide in front of him. Otherwise, they would be killed. He gave many more examples to prove this. He started to dress in different clothes, not the kind of clothes that an emperor would wear, but he dressed in regular guy, girl, baby, child, anything you can think of. Caligula was always looking for a way to make an extra buck. Once he spent all of the empire's money on Once he spent all of the empire's money, he then had to resort on the people for a change. He then reinstated the treason trials for the people that committed treason, or not, that would make the emperor some money. He tried to embarrass the Senate in many ways throughout his reign. He did this by making the senators run around his carriage for miles and miles. If they would not, then he would embarrass them in some other way. Caligula then invited all of the new senators over with their wives for dinner, and about halfway through, he would take one of the wives and rape her, then returning her and himself back to dinner like nothing happened. Rumor has it that he would sleep with anyone that he could get his hands on, men, women, boys, girls. Oftentimes, he wanted to and announced that he was going to put a statue in front of the Jewish temple. This aggravated the Jewish people because he was not in the right mind to rule Rome. Ruling Rome takes a lot of responsibility. Caligula let a part of that slip through the cracks. In 30 AD, Caligula assassinated Quintus Navius Sertorius Marco. Marco pledged to help Caligula with the murder of Tiberius Gemellus, his cousin. However, this man did not help, resulting in his death. Marco was also a part of the Praetorian Prefect. Rome was suffering a great grain shortage. This went hand in hand with Caligula spending all of the empire's fortune on his personal needs. He then thought that it would be a good idea to bring back the treason trials that his uncle Tiberius had once started. He enjoyed watching them making money for the government and himself. Many times when Caligula was executed for a crime, he wanted it to be slow and as painful as possible, making family members watch and even having to laugh, otherwise put to death in the exact same way. In 40 AD, Caligula sent his troops to the great beaches of Gaul. This was the perfect opportunity for people of Rome to overthrow the emperor. Chaerea was the head of this group. Caligula paid the soldiers to dress up in their war uniforms. The soldiers thought that they were going to fight the country of Gaul and preparing. The emperor told the soldiers that they would just be collecting seashells. A lot of people raised suspicion about this because the soldiers picking up seashells would cost them a lot of money. He then brought his mother's ashes back to the Colosseum to be buried next to her royal family. The picture here is a copper Caligula that is reigning over the country. He has been there for a long time because you can see that the copper has oxidized and turned green. After Caligula reigned for 4 very long years, something tragic happened to the hated emperor. Caligula tragically ended his reign on January 24th of 41 AD. He and his immediate family were at the imperial palace on Palestine Hill on the day that the Praetorian Guard struck. As Claudius takes the reins from Caligula, the empire seems to be coming into a better light. As many people of Rome were ecstatic about their passing of the Roman emperor, they got a new chance at having a different lifestyle, hoping it was going to be easier. Many times, the Roman emperors made headstones for one body, and then they would change them out. In this image is how the stabbing occurred from the view of a painting. Cassius Chaerea was born on 12 BC. He was a soldier that served for Caligula's father in the Germanic Wars. He then became a Praetorian Guard. On January 24th, He then decided he was going to plan an attack on the Roman emperor's entire immediate family. Chaerea then stabbed Caligula, his wife Melonia, and their daughter Julia, who was just 1 year old. Chaerea then was sentenced to death because of his wrongdoings. He then asked officials if he could be killed with his personal sword. His request was accepted. As the news about Caligula's family being assassinated, not many people mourned their loss due to the fact that Caligula had shown that he was an unfit leader and ruler. The other guards even went as far as finding and killing Caligula's horse, because they did not like the myth that he was going to be a senator. This is a picture of Chaerea, who brutally murdered the emperor. Claudius was the next successor to Caligula. Claudius was also known with the family at the Palestine Games. He is described as the black sheep of the family. Once he saw Caligula get stabbed, he ran. Chaerea found Claudius hiding, but let his life be free because of the fact that he would be the next ruler. This is a statue of Claudius, who was the fourth emperor of Rome, who extended the empire into many other countries. He expanded Rome into Africa and the Middle East. He then granted citizenship to all of the new places that he conquered. He was the emperor that the Empire of Rome always wanted. They saw this in the start of Caligula, but then everything remained the same. These are my sources. I hope you have all enjoyed my presentation.